Hello friends, welcome to the Global Pulse. There is chaos everywhere in the world. 2 years ago Russia-Ukraine war started. Last year Israel-Hamas war started. There are no signs of end in both the conflicts. And another one is on the brink of escalation. It is between China and Taiwan. China always remained keen to let this matter simmer on the global forum because it wants to annex Taiwan into its own territory forever at any cost. Now, the question is, what is there in the South China Sea, for which 6 countries have been fighting for years? Whose sea is this? Between China and Vietnam, in the South China Sea, artificial islands are being constructed. The number of artificial islands has increased 7-fold in 3 years. However, the South China Sea is the most disputed territory in the world, where apart from China and Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Brunei are also involved in disputes. Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative, AMTI, recently reported that Vietnam has reclaimed more than 7,200 acres in the South China Sea to create artificial islands. China has nearly doubled the number of islands in the same area. Nearly all countries bordering the South China Sea are creating islands in the water to strengthen their claims. It is believed that among all the ocean disputes in the world, the South China Sea is the most prominent. South China Sea is located on the western coast of the Pacific Ocean and lies to the southeast of the Asian mainland. Its southern part touches China. On the other side, Taiwan claims the southeastern part. The eastern coast of the sea is connected to Vietnam and Cambodia. The western coast is the Philippines. Also, in the northern region, there are Indonesian islands. Another question arises among this huge dispute: why are multiple countries interested in this? Being connected to several countries, it is one of the busiest waterways in the world, where a lot of international business takes place. Even Japan, which is not directly connected to the South China Sea, conducts business through Vietnam and the Philippines. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development estimates that 21% of global trade takes place only through this water. This figure is from 2016, which apparently must have increased since. It is speculated that there could be so much oil and gas beneath the surface. When it comes to seafood, the South China Sea has the most disputes over the Paracel and Spratly Islands groups. This area is a reservoir of crude oil and natural gases. According to various research, there are approximately 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas and 11 billion barrels of oil underneath the sea. Furthermore, it is abundant with corals and marine organisms. More than half of the world's fishing vessels operate in this area. Due to its proximity to the borders of many countries, there is an increasing strategic need for it. Establishing military bases on artificial islands can be a way to keep an eye on others. China always claims almost the entire sea to be its own territory. China has been claiming about 90% of its largest part. This claim is based on the 9-line map, created by Chinese geographer Yang Huiran in the 1940s. Yang created the map with approximately 300 fake islands in between, which he named the South China Sea Islands. This was also covered in Time magazine. With the help of this map, China claimed that all the areas shown in it belong to Beijing. What do the other countries say about this region? Vietnam has directly stated that it has been in control of the Paracel and Spratly Islands since the 17th century. It even has all the documents. The Philippines has made another big claim. This country is closer to the Spratlys, making its claim stronger. The Philippines and China have also been disputing over the Scarborough Shoal, which is only 100 miles away from the Philippines. Malaysia and Brunei also claim parts of the South China Sea that are closest to them. In the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, if a country can prove that even beyond the 220 nautical miles, there is a part of the sea that belongs to it, then it can be recognized as its right. Many island nations claim sovereignty over uninhabited islands, whether they are around its maritime boundaries or where its flora and fauna are connected. Such claims are also recognized. Here is the timeline of conflicts. In 1974, China engaged in a war with Vietnam and seized control of the Paracel Islands, resulting in the death of over 70 Vietnamese troops. In 2012, tensions escalated between the Philippines and China when they blocked each other's paths in the sea. In 2023, the Philippines accused China of using lasers from their ships to deter their boats from straying off course. To bolster its claim, China and other nations have begun constructing artificial islands in the water. China has developed machines for this purpose, which scoop up sediment from the ocean floor and deposit it onto coral reefs. Once the reef is completely covered, the foundation of the island becomes solid, and it is then reinforced with rocks and cement. Many countries have continuously expressed concern over China's actions, to the extent of threatening to bring the matter to the United Nations. Thank you very much for being with us. Always be with us like this, so that you can get latest updates and news as they happen. Goodbye and see you soon.